Good morning, Lieutenant Andrew Siebenborn, Siebenborn. I'm the Support Services Lieutenant, and one of the designations that come under my section is our traffic crash investigators, and I'm just standing before you to speak about some of the great work that team of traffic crash investigators has recently been a part of. I'm gonna take us back to a little bit of last year. On about October 8th of last year, around midnight, our department was alerted to what was described as a very large organized amount of street racing and drag racing going on within the city of Sioux Falls. This was happening near the area of North Sycamore Avenue in its intersection with East Benson Road. Initially, when officers responded, they found about 50 cars in that area parked in various capacities. Spoke to some subjects and took a subsequent report. At that point in time, not enough information had been gathered to issue any citations, make any arrest or anything like that. So what happens when officers take that report? That report then goes to our traffic crash investigators, where they look into it further. And as they looked into it further, they were able to really gain knowledge as far as to the magnitude of the organization of this illegal racing that was going up in that area. And you've heard our department talk before, and even specifically myself, of the dangers of this street racing. We talk about it particularly during the summer when the weather gets nicer, and we consistently take complaints in street racing, and high speed driving. It's dangerous. It's one of the biggest contributor to our serious accidents. One of the biggest contributor to fatality accidents, and we do really take a position of zero tolerance in regard to that behavior here in Sioux Falls in regard to that type of activity. So during the course of the investigation, detectives were able to locate a significant amount of evidence for their investigation, where they were able to identify at least 9 people that were involved in this illegal activity that was occurring in our community. Once they complete that investigation, they then consult with the state's attorney's office as far as if there's enough investigation or enough facts to bring forth warrants reference the investigation, and they were granted those, and those were signed off at the courthouse. And then when those warrants actually come to fruition, a little bit more time passes. So some might ask, like, hey, this happened in October, and now we're just talking about it in February because last week the warrants that were involved in this incident just finally got posted. But I can also tell you that there was a lot of evidence that detectives needed to go through, and it's really through just their tenacity and their quality of being a detective that brings us to here today. So again, we were able to identify 9 participants. We have been able to have 8 of them either turn themselves in or be brought into custody. All the subjects were charged with the same crimes, which included drag racing on a highway, reckless driving, exhibition driving, gambling, and second-degree intentional damage to property. The warrants for each subject involved carried a $1,000 cash bond, and then I'll just list the names of the folks that had turned themselves in or that were taken into custody initially. Their spellings of their names will be included on the press release, but there was Daniel Lee Johnson. He's a 32-year-old man from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Jameis Harry Jurgens, a 43-year-old man from Watertown, South Dakota. Jeremy Arthur Canis, a 32-year-old man from Valley Springs, South Dakota. Cole Dean Mendering, a 26-year-old man from Inwood, Iowa. Matthew Scott Moen, a 35-year-old man from Harrisburg, South Dakota. Chase Avery Schrader, a 35-year-old man from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Nathan Allen Stoops, a 35-year-old man from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And again, Eric Wayne Taylor, a 35-year-old man from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Like you said, we're certainly aware there's more people than this that were involved in this race. However, this is where our investigators got with the evidence and those that we were confident in identifying as actually taking place in this. So I would just put that out there. I know there's some snow on the ground, so it doesn't really feel like it, but the weather's going to get nicer And we're gonna continue, as members of the traffic section, the patrol section of this department, to take a very aggressive approach to addressing these violations of whether it's organized street racings, the quick pop-ups that happen on the thoroughfares around the city, or any high-speed driving. I can tell you, having witnessed some of the video footage from this incident, we really are incredibly lucky that we didn't have a fatality or someone seriously injured due to the close proximity of people standing and being during this racing, and the incredibly high speeds that these vehicles were going during this race. So I'll certainly stand for any questions if anyone has any questions.
You mentioned different kinds of evidence that you found, which led to this whole investigation. What kind of evidence?
Yep, there was some video evidence that was brought to light in regard to that, and that was some of the stuff that happened, along with just normal good everyday police work of talking to people and reaching out and making some contacts. Awesome, thank you very much.